Oh, man. It was a pretty good week, all things considered. I didn't do that much of podcast worthiness, honestly. I played a shit ton of FF15, at which my anger at nobody knowing who the fuck Arden is reached a fever pitch, as it turns out that your characters do know who Arden is. But they didn't for some reason.
Yeah,
fuck off.
So I'm holding off until the game's done to figure that out. But it seems very weird that that character who's very important in the world would be completely unknown to them by face for the longest while.
Or first name, or it's so fucking weird. I'm nearly entirely maxed out the AP grid, and Willie and I were talking briefly about this beforehand, but once you unlock most of the abilities on that AP grid, I feel like the game would be a much better game. I would feel like the game would be a much better game if the AP grid didn't exist at all. And you just had all those abilities.
Yeah, but I guess there needs to be some sense of progression.
Sure, obviously, but I don't know, because
the sphere grid was cool.
There's two abilities in particular that just make the game a lot better. One is Impervious, which is all the way at the bottom of the combat tree, which is basically a Nukemi, and it's a quick recover as well.
It's the first thing I bought.
It is fucking fantastic.
First thing
it makes the combat a lot more fun.
Save up 333 and just buy it immediately.
The second one is the Air Dance, which is infinite air dashes in the air while you're comboing with a spear or long short sword, I guess they're called. Both of those make the combat just a lot more fun. A lot better. And it's a bummer that they're locked behind such expensive upgrades. And also, the method of grinding AP in that game feels very unintentional, feels very min-maxy. And after playing through I'm at level 71 now, I have no idea how the fuck the developers expected you to interact with the sphere grid, because...
I disagree. I feel that, the way you grind AP seems very intentional, providing you get the holiday pack. I feel like if you go playing normally...
I feel like the holiday pack items were supposed to be hey, you'll get a couple extra AP if you do really well. Because there's also one that gives you AP for A+ and Finesse as well.
Certainly.
That no one uses.
Certainly. And you can do things on your sphere grid to, build up AP by doing mundane tasks. But, I feel like... the normal flow of the game, if you just play it without that stuff, and if you just, even doing side missions and whatnot, you're getting it at a pretty slow rate. Training is going to give you a little bit,
but only once.
And
I feel like if you played the game completely normally and didn't grind for AP at all, you would only be able to fill up maybe 1/20th.
Yeah. No,
it's really nuts.
You would only be able to max out maybe a handful of those. But lines.
Even then, 30 levels gave me 400 AP. That means from 1 to 99, you'd get let's say 1200 from purely leveling.
Yeah.
Right. That's enough to max out one path on one of 10 different pages.
The paths are also exponential in their scaling, because your first step can be 8 or 12 points. Then you go to 24 or 32.
Then you go to 72 99,
and then 333.
And then 999 after that.
And it's that jump is so extreme, with no in-betweens there, that they don't want you to be at 33 for all of them.
Even the hardest and fastest grinding method that I could devise still would take an hour of pure grinding to get one of those 1,000-point ones. It's crazy.
Have you, George, tried at all or seen any of FF15? Is that an interest for you?
No, I want to kind of save myself for it for a time in my life where I have 2 much more stress-free weeks to give it a chance, where I can cuddle up in bed,
idea.
watch the shitty Kingsglaive movie 90 minutes before
shitty.
I start the game. And then just turn off the phone, lock the door, and don't
disrobe.
Do anything for 3 days minimum when I start it off. Yeah, get naked.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's a good game.
It's a really good game. There's some weird shit all over it, though. It feels very slapped together.
Boy, are those summons really good.
They're absurd.
Those summons are so fucking
They're absurd.
Cool.
I have a question, though.
Damn.
To anybody out there, and you can answer me this on Twitter or whatever, but I'm worried about this. I'm pretty huge in the game right now. And the summons do not summon themselves indoors, right? Because the conditions are such that it's like, hey, somebody needs to become incapacitated, or the battle needs to go on for quite a while, right? Does this mean that since my characters are very powerful that I'm unlikely to almost ever see summons?
No, because there are multiple conditions.
There are.
There are multiple conditions that will trigger them, and from what I can tell, there's also just sometimes very
they
rare
pop right
random,
away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
because they're fucking dope.
They are, and there's multiple of them. So like you're,
and I'd be sad if I never got to see the coolest part because I got too huge.
Yeah, and the thing is, and again, like the gods themselves have different attacks that they can do as well. So it's like you're gonna see them.
Okay,
I wouldn't worry about that.
All right, good.
It really though puts in perspective how insane it is in the other games to like call in a god to fucking clean up your little
your trash mobs.
Your trash mobs to just fucking take out those shitty dogs with like excuse me. Like this being who has an existence unrelated to your entire reality is like, I'm gonna step in, pick you up, and destroy this part of the world because these guys were like arguing with each other. Like what? Your squabbles feel so petty in their presence, you know? It really feels like, yeah, you're summoning a god.
I got attacked by 4 quill beasts.
Better call in Rama and then, like, level out the plane so that the aftermath is nothing but, like, smoke and black, thick, like, burnt earth, scorched forever. Like, yeah, hope it was worth it for that, like, fucking piece of meat you got.
Oh, I got
to bring back to the side quest.
I got 3 4-tooth bristles. Thanks, Rama.
Gonna go sell those at the market.
It's absurd.
I've come up with a new recipe. Like, like you murdered everything in a mile radius.
One of the things that stood out to me about I've come up with a new recipe thing is that occasionally Ignis you'll eat at a restaurant and he'll go, aha, I've come up with a new recipe.
No.
And it's the exact thing you just ate.
No. So he does that every time when you eat a new meal for the first time.
But it's like...
But he doesn't say that. He only says that when you pick up shit in the wild.
Okay.
But saying that in the cook's presence is bullshit. And he knows it, so he just rubs his chin and goes,
Oh, is that true?
He internalizes...
Did I
Yeah,
he
internalizes the restaurant's food that you just ate and goes, I see what you did there. I'm gonna make my own fucking bootleg version
also,
of that.
the some of the food is inedible. Like, and I don't mean like it looks bad. I mean, the number one that I'm thinking of is the ham Decker sandwich.
Sure.
Which is literally 4 foot tall sandwich.
Oh boy, here it comes.
And then you cut to the camp shot, and what I had assumed is that sandwich was for everyone, but no, all 4 of your boys have one of these fucking monstrosities.
Yeah.
And no one even attempts to eat it because I guess there's no animation that would work. It's fucking ridiculous. That's a good game.
Yeah.
That's a really good game.
There's a place down here where you can get a dinosaur burger, and they stack it up like highlight.
I am very excited for those DLC episodes now, especially now that characters in my point of the game have like just left the party for no reason to come back. But I'm still really, really confused as to what the Comrades multiplayer thing of that season pass is.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I'm expecting some weird... mother-based style multiplayer addition to the game.
But like by the time that thing comes out, like the people that really like this game are going to be 100% clear. They're going to be like, they will have annihilated this content.
Yeah, and then they're going to add like DLC Island.
I would love to go to DLC Island.
With with DLC content.
Bitter Black
DLC
Isle
hotels.
was a great DLC island.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Shivering Isles are a great DLC island.
Yeah, and you're eventually gonna get your episode prompto and episode
Ignis and Gladiolus.
Exactly. So if there's moments where it's like, hey guys, I have to go off and do the DLC now.
Dude, okay, so this is a minor spoiler for Chapter 8, but in Chapter 8, Gladiolus walks up to Noctis and goes, hey, I've got something really important I need to do.
Find out about it in episode Gladiolus.
I'm gonna
available soon.
I'm gonna
on
need
the
to
PSN store.
I'm gonna need to leave the party for a little bit, and then your options are no, don't go. How long will you be? And okay, bye. None of the options are, hey, what are you going to go do? And a character's like, oh man, it must be super important if you have to leave the party to go do it. And he's like, okay, I'll be back after my DLC finish. And it's
well,
so
like one
weird.
of the options should have been browse to PSN store.
Yeah, but that option will be added in the patch when that DLC comes out.
Just mid-conversation. Oh, God.
Oh, man, it's super weird.
Kind of garbage?
Yeah, no. Well, there's a lot of things.
Not the best way to handle
There's
that
a lot
type
of things
thing.
in that game that should be garbage, but for some reason, they're the best thing ever. So probably the best and most famous example is cup noodles.
Right.
Like I find it weird that you're not mad about this DLC thing. You're like laughing about it.
It's funny. But remember, we've established that much like I have shit opinions, Bunny has crazy opinions about the DLCs. Because he's really butthurt about them all the time.
I mean, I'm when it comes to like small self-contained pieces of content, like I liked Case Zero, and I heard a lot of good things about Freedom Cry, so I'm willing to give them a chance.
But like I was saying, like the cup noodles advertising in this game is, first of all, I'm astounded that it made it over from Japan.
I'm okay with the cup noodles.
There's a lot of it.
It's a product that exists over here.
But still, right? Because those kinds of ad deals usually get scrubbed. Think of Doritos and Mountain Dew for fucking
Calorie
Peace Walker,
Mate, you know, I mean,
right? But the Cup Noodle Quest, which I'm sure you have not gotten to yet, Wooly, the Cup Noodle Quest is a fucking like 1930s radio ad. It is so overt. It is so intense.
I hear good things.
It's just, you know how Gladio, his favorite food is cup noodles?
Yeah.
Like, Gladio just rubs up and she's like, dude, this is the ultimate flavor experience. And like, he's like, he might as well just be holding up one with a brand shot and he's reading off of like a fucking ad copy.
The all-in-one.
And it's like, we have to go out into the wild and get
cup noodle experience.
The ultimate ingredients for the ultimate cup noodle. And it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. Where like it's this super intrusive in-game ad, but it's hilarious. So it's great.
I had your Ovaltine, kids.
Yeah,
I had a weird moment where, like, you early on in the game, you have this whole thing where you do a Catoblepas like mission.
Yes,
and you crawl up to it and get a sick ass photo. And
did you get the ultimate photo?
Of course you did. I got the ultimate photo with the ultimate pose.
The ultimate pose.
Sonochino Sarame.
Very overt, actually. Appreciated it.
But and then like Prompto was fucking loving it, and he's like, "Oh man, these things are so cool," and I'm like, "Oh, close call, knocked. We got out of there." And then like fast forward a few hours, and then just one of the hunting missions is like, "Yeah, go murder one of those things."
They're tough.
They just apparently it walked out and it started destroying some habitat. So just go kill it, despite the fact that it was like a cool animal friend that you loved, not barely a couple hours ago.
Wally.
And then take the meat back to a guy who needs it for a new recipe.
So here's the weirdest thing about
and they spawn a third one.
Here's the weirdest thing about FF15's thing is that every single like bounty hunty thing is like wanted for habitat
destruction. Yeah.
All the hunts that you take are animals that are destructive.
They're not the peaceful
ones.
They're
ecologically disastrous.
Yes.
However, those appear to be the only animals that exist in Lucis. I have not seen very many.
The two Catoblepas that are like just in the water.
Chilling?
You can just walk
but what
up
about
to them.
every other fucking monster or enemy?
Yeah, you could. There's some of them that you can walk up to real close that don't attack you.
What about those giant 8-foot tall centipedes?
Those tend to attack you. Yeah, it depends.
Wildlife sucks, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying, there's like a 50-50 shot that you can just walk by it. I walked by a bunch of Spiracorns that were just chilling. They wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they wanted nothing to do with me.
Oh, wow.
It happens.
Fuck those stupid unicorns.
You know. They're
a bunch of bastards.
But yeah, that's a good game, George, and you should give
That's a good game.
Give it the time of day.
It's a very slapdash rushed game, but it's very good.
And it has some flaws.
It feels like so far it feels like MGS5 but more finished. Like the RPG version of MGS5 but more finished.
I'm probably going to give it a go at the end of January. I have a few trips to make. Don't want to make a trip in the middle of a game.
It's certainly a way better overworld than MGS5.
Yeah.
And that is like...
So it's not just a blob.
Yeah.
No.
Stuff.
The best thing about the overworld here is, like, while you're driving around, they made sure that, like, the roadside scenery is fucking
nice.
glorious.
It's really nice.
And there's definitely moments of, like, wow, if I was in a modern fantasy setting, it would be really cool to look at, like, this ancient battlefield's like remains as a tourist attraction spot now. You know, where like part of the map is exploded and is still jutting out of the ground, and
it's a tourist trap,
and it looks really cool. It looks really cool. You know, like
so cute.
Yeah,
I think that's really well thought out.
The view from Lestalem is fantastic.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense now that. You see, they had the table at the Square offices that is like the full scale version of the map in 3D and whatnot. Like you can totally see, like they'd be like, yeah, okay, let's see what it's like when you're driving from here to here. What's the prettiest pathway we can take to let you see the world and really take that?
Oh,
in.
I have a quick question on visual quality, Willie. How many Royal Arms do you have? Ballpark it. Doesn't really matter. Okay, I think I'm up to 7, maybe 6, maybe just 6.
Sure,
but. When you originally get the armature at 4, right?
Perhaps. Yeah.
And the armature looks pretty underwhelming as a super attack. Every time you get a new one, that thing starts to look dramatically better.
I'm hoping so, because right now it doesn't look as cool as I want it to.
Because I noticed it during a fight with a Bandersnatch, which are fucking amazing looking. And it's as you use, because he randomly switches between the weapons that you have to do attacks.
Yes.
And you're flying all over the place. But during that, the weapons that are not in your hand are summon sorting all over the place.
Yes.
And I noticed every time I got one, more would be appearing in the summon sword form.
Okay.
So I have a full appreciation that by the time you hit 13, you are the original trailer.
That's what exactly. You're definitely building towards the trailer, and I really want to get to that in gameplay, / in the dreams that you get, like random FMV dream. But the original trailers, like your weapon switching on the fly is out of control. Action is what I want to see in game, because the armature is not that right now. But yeah, really cool. Was that you?
No. I also played a bunch of Bloodborne with the missus, who has been continuing to crush it.